whatever wireless communication is taking place,
Yeah.
all the cells are sectored. Because cell sectoring provides some very important advantages.
Yeah.
And that is what we will be discussing.
Yeah.
Cell sectoring. Now, first, let us try to understand what is the meaning of the cell sectoring from different pictorial
Okay, sir.
pictures. You will get a feel of it, like what exactly is this cell sectoring is. Then we will look into some interesting aspects of this, like some very interesting advantages we will get using this concept of cell sectoring in wireless communication.
Okay.
So first, let us try to understand the meaning of cell sectoring.
Yes.
So as we can see in this picture, this is a standard cell. And we are already aware of a standard cell, that every standard cell is equipped with one base station, and that base station is having an antenna. It's having a very powerful antenna so that it can cover the entire cell. The coverage area is the entire cell. And this is the standard cell, and this antenna is the omnidirectional antenna. Like it can cover the entire 360-degree region. So I can write it 360-degree omnidirectional antenna in a standard cell. Omnidirectional antenna. Omnidirectional is all the directions.
Yeah.
Like 360-degree coverage.
Yeah.
But if I look into this sectored cell, now what I can do, I can basically break this cell into some sectors. Like I broke this cell into 3 sectors, like this, as you can see the figure. And every sector is equipped with one antenna. And this is a directional antenna. So these are also like powerful antennas, but they are directional. And the advantage is that they are radiating signals only in a particular direction. So the coverage area of this antenna will be this, only this much region. The coverage area of this antenna will be only this much region. And the coverage area of this antenna will be only this much region. So this is known as sectoring, cell sectoring. Cell sectoring means instead of using a single base station, a powerful antenna, we are in a cell, we are creating sectors, and every sector is equipped with a base station. So in cell sectoring, what is happening is that each sector is a base station. Each sector is a base station, BS. And if each sector is a BS, it is equipped with a particular group of frequencies. Particular group of frequencies. Assigned to it. So the idea is that every base station in the sector, a particular group of frequencies assigned, just like a normal base station. And they make use of sectorized directional antennas. They make use of sectorized directional antennas that we will discuss.
Sir, it should be
Later on.
like each sector has a base station.
Yeah, each sector has a base station. Yeah, each sector has a base station, technically. That is right. Now let us understand it more clearly with some more pictorial representations. Now here we can see now very interesting observation we are making. Whenever we are sectoring the cell, we can either do like break the cell into three sectors, S1, S2, S3, or we can break the cell into six sectors, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. So two possibilities are there. If we are breaking the cell into three sectors, then that we are calling it as 120-degree cell sectoring, because every sector the coverage area will be 120 degree. The coverage area will be 120, and hence it is because we are breaking the cell into three sectors. Every sector the coverage area will be 120 degree, and hence it is called as 120-degree cell sectoring. And here the diagram which we are looking at, this is the main base station, and the six other base stations are the co-channels. Co-channels means they are using exactly the same frequency groups as used by this, something of that sort. And here we are breaking the cell into 60-60 degrees, like we are breaking the cell into six segments. So every sector the coverage area will be 60 degree. Every sector the coverage area will be 60 degree. So this is also very clear. So cell sectoring we can do it in two ways: 120-degree cell sectoring, 60-degree cell sectoring, and they have pros and cons. That also we will discuss, that which one is more efficient. 60-degree cell sectoring is more efficient, or 120-degree cell sectoring is more efficient. So that all we will discuss later.
Okay.
Now one more pictorial representation we will discuss. This diagram. So you can see this. So this is how the directional antenna works. So the idea is that whatever signals are transmitted and received, they are focused. They are not spread everywhere, but they are focused into a direction like this, as can be seen. And this is a network. This is a cellular network wherein every circle is representing a cell, and every cell is being sectored into 120-degree cell sectoring. So this green region is one sector. So there is a directional antenna installed, which is a base station, which is been given its own group of frequencies. And this base station now, it will be like emitting and receiving the signals, directional signals, and the coverage area will be 120 like this. So this is the idea. Now let us look at one more representation. If we look at this diagram, this you see. So the idea is that this you can assume to be a cell, hexagonal cell. And here, this is one directional antenna. This is another directional antenna. This is another directional antenna. And we know that we can visualize the signals, because what are signals? Signals are electromagnetic waves of a particular frequency. And there are techniques wherein we can visualize those waves.
Yes.
So this is the one of that. And see, so interesting it is. So every cell, like which is an hexagon, which is a sort of a hexagon. So like 120-degree cell sectoring. So every sector is having a directional antenna which is emitting signal in its region. And just look at this diagram clearly. It is stating like interference we have minimized. Like no interference we can see, no significant interference we can see.
Yes.
So this is very interesting. So it is evident that cell sectoring helps us in dealing with interference, dealing with the problem of interference. It helps us. And one more interesting observation we will make. Then we will look at some very interesting aspects of cell sectoring. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you can see that we have a 120-degree cell sectoring with the sectors S1, S2, S3, S1, S2, S3, S1, S2, S3. Now let us suppose these cells are co-channels. Co-channels means these cells are sharing the same frequency groups. And since these channels are sharing the same frequency groups, there is a possibility of interference. And what is the term for that? Adjacent interference.
Adjacent channel interference, ACI.
Yeah. So that is different. But here, because of the co-channel, there is a possibility of interference. Now, what happens if we sector and what happens if we don't sector? Let us try to compare it. Now here, in the right-hand side, we have yellow cells, completely yellow cells. It means they are not sectored at all. Now the point is that this point, if I talk about, now if I assume that base station is in the center, now and these base stations are containing powerful antennas, and we know that in the boundary region, the mobile station, it experiences the signals of the neighborhood cells also, and its own cells also. There is where the interference will take place. What is interference? Interference is that when waves, when signals of similar frequencies, they meet then they merge with it, they superimpose. And if they superimpose the information packets, the signal, it will get compromised or it will become corrupt. And hence we say that interference took place. So how interference takes place is that let us suppose we have a mobile station at this point. Now, definitely these are powerful signals. These are omnidirectional. So everywhere they will be having its influence, because in a normal cell, the antenna is omnidirectional. And for this also, we have an omnidirectional antenna. Now the problem is that unfortunately, this mobile base station, which I will mark with a different color, like a red color, it is in the influence of both the signals, and it is under the influence of its own signal also, like signal of its own base station plus neighborhood base station. And this is an example of a burst S by R, signal to interference ratio, S by I, signal to interference ratio. If
Okay.
S by I is terrible, if it is very low, it means that interference is very high.
Yeah.
And here at this point, S by I, the signal to interference ratio will be terrible. It will be very, very low.
Yeah.
And it is understandable.
Yeah.
And why it is happening? Because of the omnidirectional antennas in the base station.
Yeah.
Now, what benefit we get from cell sectoring? Let us see. So the same scenario, but now we have this sectored cell. And with the cell sectoring, we know that directional antennas are installed. So its coverage area will be in this direction. Its coverage area, the antenna, the base station, its coverage area will be in this direction. It will be in this direction. Here, whatever the base station is there, in this direction. In this direction. In this. So this point, the red point, it is completely safe from any interference. This red point, it is completely safe from any interference. These black points, they are also relatively safe. They can be prone to interference, but very slight interference, because if these are very high powerful antennas, definitely they are directional, but some power can be experienced, or some power can be experienced. But relatively, S by I, signal to interference ratio will be improved. And this is what we want, because if we are interested in quality, of like the communication, then S by I is the one we are interested in. Like we have to improve the signal to interference ratio.
नहीं ये
Yes.
I not fully understand this cell sectoring. So what are these red and green lines for?
No, these are representing you can say that the coverage. I will know. Coverage. Coverage means that see, you are aware of this fact. Now this S2, this is a sector. This cell sector, it will contain one antenna, directional antenna.
Yeah.
Now the coverage area of that antenna is what is being represented by the red line. Like
okay, so red will go that, and
this
green will go there.
This is the coverage area, and this is the coverage area of the green line. Like the region, the sector, 120 degree.
But there are these things also, right? Of this, what to say, of there is one, two, three this thing, what to say, clusters here.
Yeah, three clusters.
So the
No, no,
third
no, no,
cluster,
no, 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 three cluster. These are cells.
three cells are there. So
Yeah,
the third cell, which is the most forward,
yeah, yeah,
uh, so that also has three channels.
yeah.
S,
No, no, that also
not
has three
channel,
sectors. Three sectors.
sectors, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
S1, S2, S3, three
yeah,
sectors.
yeah.
So
That
that
is
S1's this thing will be uh, S1's way, like signal pattern will interfere with the previous ones, right?
no, no. Wait, wait, wait. So see here, what is happening is let us be very precise. Now the idea is that we have already seen that every antenna is a base station. Every antenna will be treated as a base station, which in itself be assigned a frequency group. Now S2, S1, and S3 they will be assigned different frequency groups. Now
Yeah,
here this S2, 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 the yellow color, it is
yeah,
saying that all these three will be assigned the same frequency group.
okay,
Like the antenna, this sector
yeah,
S2, 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 they are four channels. Uh, they are been assigned. They have been assigned the same frequency.
yeah.
Yeah. Now tell.
Now I'm asking that can I draw?
Yeah, yeah. Please.
Oh, I think it's view only.
Okay. Okay. So you tell me. I will draw.
I will point. So this can you see the laser?
Yeah. Laser. I can see.
This cell has three sectors.
Yeah. That is right.
Each sector has a base station.
That is right.
Is it
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
So S1 has a base station.
Yes.
The can you draw the signals for S1, the signal pattern for S1?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I was telling S3 will be like that. Oh, I was telling this S1 and red color S2. This S1 and this S2's signals will interfere, but they are of different frequencies, right? So they
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. Yeah. They will not interfere. Yeah. Because they are different frequency groups.
They are different frequency groups. Oh, then though it's not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one. That is one. But
Yeah,
here, because of the omnidirectional, there was a problem. But here we have resolved that problem.
yeah,
Now clear.
yeah, yeah,
Now it's good to see that you are convinced. You are convinced that yeah, the cell sectoring works,
yeah.
and
But
it will play a role. It will play a role in reducing the interference. And that
yeah.
is what now we will discuss. Some important aspects of cell sectoring. In cell sectoring, we use sectorized directional antennas. Sectorized directional antennas. That we already saw.
Yeah.
Now, what benefit we will get, that is what we will discuss. Because of that, two benefits we will get. Because of this sectorized directional antennas which we are using, we get two benefits.
Yeah.
So the first benefit that we can derive is the improved capacity. So this sectorized directional antennas, they improve capacity. Improves capacity. Now let us see how. First, let us try to understand what is the meaning of capacity. Capacity means number of frequencies, number of channels. See, every frequency is a channel. And if I tell that improving the capacity, I am telling that I am increasing the number of channels.
Yeah.
How? Let us see how. That is the question in front of us.
Yeah. Improves capacity.
So see, the idea is that whenever we do the sectoring, cell sectoring, D by R decreases. There is a decrease in D by R. And D by R is the reuse ratio, wherein D is the distance between two co-channels and capital R is the radius of the hexagon.
Yeah.
Now, when we do the cell sectoring, we don't do anything with the radius. Radius will be constant.
Yeah.
When we do the cell sectoring, radius has to be constant. But the distance between two co-channel, that we can decrease to decrease the D by R. So what happens whenever we do the sectoring of the cell, this distance between two co-channel, it automatically decreases.
Distance between. Okay. Yeah.
Distance between two co-channel decreases. Hence, D by R ratio.
Can increase also.
See, let us understand why.
Like because they are of different frequencies, right? So
Yeah.
even if they're far apart, there is no problem.
Yeah. No, the idea is that when I sector the cell, I will be getting more opportunity to allocate different frequencies in this cell itself. Earlier, I have a bunch of frequency. I had to forcefully allocate all that bunch to the entire cell. But now, in that bunch also, I can select certain frequency group and allocate it. Because of which, the number of co-channels, it will increase. And number of co-channels will increase. It means the co-channel distance, the co-channels, they will become close to each other. It has to become close to each other. Because see, idea is that the channel capacity, the global channel capacity or the total channel capacity of the system, that is fixed. Whether you use a no sectoring or you use sectoring, the total channel capacity is fixed. Now, when we do the sectoring, we will be allocating something. Just yeah, we will be allocating more and more Like, once again, I'm telling you, just see what I'm trying to say is that I have a total channel capacity. Total capacity of the system. Now, when I'm doing the sectoring, out of this, I will be doing more and more division of this, because of which the groups, the channel, the frequency reuse, it will increase. It will be clear. It will be clear. Just give me 5 minutes. It will be clear. Like, let us discuss some more points, then you will get an idea. Why the distance, why the capital D will decrease, you will get an idea very soon. Now you assume that capital D will decrease. And what is the capital D? The distance between two co-channel. Let us suppose that decreases. And if that decreases, what happens? If that decreases, then I can say that, yeah,
Sir, one thing. Sir, this S2 and this 2 have same frequency, so little interference will be there.
yeah, very, very little interference can be there.
So it's neglected.
No, yeah, like we have improved now.
Ah,
Whenever, wherever there is a scope of improvement, we accept it.
oh, okay,
Wherever there is a scope of improvement, we accept it.
okay.
If D by R, if the channel reuse ratio decreases, then what happens? Let us see.
D by R decreases. D
Yeah,
by R means root 3n. Root 3n will decrease.
yeah,
Root 3n, n is the cluster size. So
yeah.
cluster size will decrease.
Very nice, very nice. Impressive. So that is also a observation we see. That's a right observation you made. Let me write that. Let me write it here. Okay. Cluster size will decrease. So whenever we do the cell sectoring, cluster size decreases.
Yeah.
And if the cluster size decreases, can I say frequency reuse will increase?
Cluster size decrease. Frequency, yeah. As the cluster size decreases, number of clusters increases, and so the frequency reuse also increases.
Very nice. So you can assume it like this. Let us suppose I have a one pizza. Let us suppose this is the total frequency channels, total frequency groups. Now, if the cluster size is increasing, it means that I have to distribute it among A, B, C. But if cluster size is decreasing,
Yeah.
then the division will decrease. If the division will decrease, more channels per cell will be given. So I can say that whenever the cluster size decreases, more channels per cell will be given.
Yeah.
More channels per cell. And one more observation I'm making. Number of clusters increases as you mentioned it correct. Number of clusters will increase. number of clusters over the coverage region. And if the number of coverage, if the number of clusters increases, then number of channel has to increase. Then number of channel has to increase.
Right.
Yeah, think. Number of channels increase.
Elements. So, correct.
Correct, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because see, what is a cluster? Cluster is like group of cells. And what is a cell? Cell is holding the channels, frequency groups.
Yeah.
If number of cluster is increasing, it means that number of cells are increasing. And if the number of cells are increasing, the channel capacity is increasing. Number of channels are increasing. And that is what is happening. And that is why we say that whenever we do the cell sectoring, the channel capacity increases because we are installing 3 new antennas, wherein normally there was one base station for one cell. Now we are having 3 base stations for one cell. And every base station will be given a group of frequency. The channel capacity has to increase and it increases. And this is what happens. And now whatever discussion we made, it is very clear that since the cluster size is decreasing, so the reuse, distance, the co-channel distance has to decrease. Because cluster size is decreasing, so the similar frequencies, the co-channels, channels with the similar frequencies, they will be more close to each other. And hence the capital D will decrease. Capital D will decrease. Now it is making sense. So now this is very clear to us that cell sectoring, with the cell sectoring, improves the capacity. Now one more point we will discuss, like one more benefit. Improves S by I ratio. That is signal to interference ratio. Cell sectoring improves S by I ratio. And hence we can say that okay, so now let us feel it, how it is happening. See, we have already seen that cell sectoring, it reduces the co-channel interference. You are convinced with this fact. So cell sectoring reduces co-channel interference. And it's so interesting that we can reduce the co-channel interference without decreasing the transmit power. Like without decreasing the capital S, the signal power or the transmit power, without decreasing the transmit power. Hence, S by I ratio will improve significantly because S don't have to decrease, but I will be decreased automatically in cell sectoring. So without decreasing the transmit power. Because when we decrease the transmit power, ultimately the regions far away from the station, base station, they will get weak signals,
Yeah.
and hence the quality will be compromised. But here it is not happening like that. And second, very important observation we can make: directional antennas. Directional antennas ensures stronger and cleaner signal. Directional antennas ensures stronger and cleaner signal. This is also clear. Now let us look at some challenges. That we can face if we go for cell sectoring. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So these are like easily understandable. Like, yeah, it makes sense. See, the first challenge is the cost overhead. And why cost overhead?
Cost paper
Like increase in cost.
increasing because as we are sectoring, we need to install more base stations.
The number of antennas will increase. Number of antennas at each cell is increased. Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Second, channel sectoring at the base station increases trunking efficiency. Decreases trunking efficiency. And what is this trunking efficiency? You know what is trunking?
No, sir.
Okay. See, the idea is that now, for now, like we will discuss in some detail, but for now, to understand it in that way, that trunking is like a kind of a capacity or like number of users supported, something like that. Now, what happens is that now, when we do the channel, like the cell sectoring, the every antenna, every base station, its capacity will decrease. Initially, one antenna, one base station was serving the entire cell. So its trunking capacity was very good. It was efficient because only one base station was supporting all the users. But now, since we are using directional antenna, the every base station it will be supporting less number of users. The
Yeah.
incoming and outgoing signals in the channel, it will reduce.
Okay.
So these, and we will prove it. We will like very soon. I will discuss one real world example. Therein, we will prove that uh, when we do the sectoring, trunking efficiency decreases, and it's a very important point. It's a very important point in terms of wireless communication because trunking efficiency is an important parameter. We want a good trunking efficiency, and if trunking efficiency is getting decreased, it is concerning for us.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be, because we want it to increase.
Yeah.
So there is a trade-off.
Okay.
And one more very interesting observation we can make. Cell sectoring reduces the coverage area. Of a particular group of channels. And this is also very clear to us, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
Because of the directional antenna, the coverage area will decrease.
Yeah.
And because of that, what will happen? What is the side effect? The side effect will be number of handshakes will increase. Now within the cell, we will be having handshakes, not
Yeah.
handshakes, handoffs.
And
Number of handoffs. Within the cell, we will be having handoffs.
yeah.
Number of handoffs increases. And fortunately, this handoff, it will be taken care without the intervention of MSC.
Okay.
And what is this MSC?
Mobile station center.
Mobile station center or controller.
Mobile station controller.
Yeah, without the intervention from the MSC. So we have a BSc and we have an MSc. So this is the idea. So number of handoffs. So these are the challenges, like the cost will increase, trunking efficiency will decrease, and the coverage will decrease, and because of that, number of handoff will increase. Now let us look at one real world scenario. to get more clarity.
Sir,
Yeah,
I have a request.
great. Let us complete this then. Just 5 minutes.
Okay.
So let us look at one real world example. Like we have a cellular system.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a cellular system in which like some parameters is defined, like average call duration. It is 2 minutes. Like of all the call, like on an average, the call duration is 2 minutes.
Oh, that much less.
Yeah. Like we are analyzing a cellular system wherein we saw something like this, and we saw the probability of blocking. Probability of blocking of calls is less than 1%, less than or equal to 1. We assume assumption. We assume every subscriber makes one call per hour. Every subscriber every subscriber makes one call per hour. And with this assumption, uh, we can, and one more assumption, there are total 395 traffic channels. For a 7-cell DU system. So in total, we have 795 traffic channel, and we are using a 7-cell DU system.
Yes, sir.
Then what will be the number of traffic channel for every cell? What will be the number of traffic channel for every cell? 395 by 7. That will be 57.
56.5.
Yeah, around 57 traffic channels per cell. So every cell is equipped with 57 channels, traffic channels per cell.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one in probability, there is one distribution that is
I
called
square.
as, no, here we are using Erlang.
Binomial. Erlang.
Yeah, Erlang B distribution. So there is a formula for that. So we will not go into very deep into the mathematical aspect of that. We will just present the result and you will get an idea what is happening. So according
We have one graph for Erlang B. Sir made us buy that graph.
yeah. Okay, nice. So we will discuss that later on. But now, like you assume that okay, we have an Erlang B distribution, and why we are using this? Because probability of blocking we are considering it to be less than 1%, and for that, and for whatever the parameters we have, according to the Erlang B distribution, we get a result that is 1326 calls per hour. So once again, let us revise what we did. We have a cellular system with some assumptions like average call duration is 2 minutes, probability of blocking is less than 1%. Every subscriber makes calls 1 call per hour.
Yeah.
In total, there are 395 traffic channels, and we are using a 7-cell reuse system. It means that after every 7 cell, the frequency reuse will be taking place. It means that whatever the total channel capacity is there, it will be distributed among these 7 cells. So
Okay.
every cell will be getting the frequency 395 by 7. That is approximately 57 traffic channels every cell will be getting. And from the Erlang distribution, we found that in a normal cell, which is not sectored, in a normal cell, it supports 1326 calls per hour.
Okay.
And now what we do, now if we take 120-degree cell sectoring, then see what will happen. We know that in 120-degree cell sectoring, every cell will be divided into 3 sectors. So the traffic channel per sector will decrease. So 57 by 3 is equal to 19. 19 channels per sector. It means that every antenna, every base station present in the sector, it will be having only 19 frequency channels. 19 channels per sector. Per antenna sector. And everything is same. Like we are taking the same assumption. And now when we sector the cell into 3 sectors, then based on the Erlang B distribution, we found something very interesting. Based on the Erlang B distribution, for the same probability of blocking, we found something very interesting. We found that every sector makes a call, like every sector, suppose 336 calls per hour. So now in total, for a sectored cell, in total, it will be 3 into 336. For cell, it will be 3 into 336, which will be equal to 1008 calls per hour. And just compare it, it has reduced. It has reduced. And hence the trunking efficiency got reduced. It got reduced by 24%. 24% decrease. 24%. And similarly, for 60-degree sectoring, what we will be doing? 57, we will be dividing it by 6. Then what we will get?
10.
Around 10. Around 10. Yeah. Around 10. 10 channels per antenna per sector. Per antenna sector. And when you apply the Erlang distribution and all the calculation you do, you will see that 44% decrease. 44% decrease. In the trunking efficiency. So this decrease, whatever we are talking in terms of trunking efficiency. And hence we proved in cell sectoring, trunking efficiency decreases, like it's been seen experimentally. Now, last discussion, we will do a small point, then we are done with this. We have already seen that signal to interference ratio increases when we do the cell sectoring. So 60-degree cell sectoring, the signal to interference ratio, it will increase a lot. But the trunking efficiency will decrease. So S by I ratio will increase and trunking efficiency will decrease. So just one last final observation I will make. I have trunking efficiency and I have S by I ratio, signal to interference ratio. If I compare it, no sectoring. So 120 degree. And we have 60-degree sector. It will be something like this. Trunking efficiency, if I talk about, it will be like this. SI ratio, isn't it? So trunking efficiency decreases as we do the sectoring and SI ratio increases. So there is a trade-off always.
Yeah.